Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to do flips of my Hobonichi weeks and my cousin for May and June of 2022. I realized I never did a May flip because it took a little break from YouTube. So I thought I would just quickly do that. It's not a lot of information as far as my weeks goes, but I did spend a lot of creative time in my cousin. So I'll start with my weeks first. So just so you guys know, like my weeks is my wallet / on-the-go planner. So I still have it in this Moterm cover, but I am probably going to move into my Galen leather cover very soon. I'm wanting a change. So I'm not going to show my front pockets, but they have, like my cards, my license, all that fun stuff. And here I have some pictures of my girls and then these fortunes. And they just reminded me of a day like the girls and I went. We went to a Chinese restaurant to have lunch together. It was not long after I had surgery when I was cleared to start driving again. So I just thought it would be fun to keep those as a little memory. A lot of things in here don't change. Like I haven't changed vellums or sticky notes or anything like that. So it's pretty basic. I am still tracking in my year-long tracker. So June is updated. I've yet to go back in for July. It's been on my to-do list. I need to go through and update for the first half of the month. But I track my cycle, which is obsolete now, when I have a headache, when I have a migraine, and when I work out. And I like that this gives me the opportunity to see like that bird's eye view. As you can see, the gray dot is headaches, and I suffer from a lot of headaches. So, that gives me an indication. So that way too, like when I go to my doctor, I'm like, more days than not, I do have a headache. What can we do about that? So my monthlies are pretty basic. As you can see, I just kind of scribble what I need to write in. Now, like the decorative elements that are on the monthlies are pre-planned. With washi and monthly stickers. And then these stickers here are from Paper Planner Bliss that mark off holidays. And so like I highlight things that are kind of like reoccurring, like gymnastics and things of that nature. And then here's June. June was a pretty low-key month. I didn't do a whole lot. I also kind of, this summer kind of started shifting more from just using like this Uni Jetstream pen that I bought on Amazon. I think it's in my storefront, linked below if you're interested. So, and they write really well on the Tomoe River paper because they're not, they're ballpoint pens, they're not gel pens, so they don't really smear. So I kind of shifted out of using fountain pens in here because I didn't want to keep carrying my fountain pens out the house. So it's been fine. And then we'll get to my weekly pages for May. And a lot of this planner kind of went on unused for a time just because I didn't need it. Like I wasn't going anywhere. And the purpose of this is to serve as on-the-go planning or places that I can like scribble like to-do lists and things like that, or things I need to reference when I leave the house. And so since I wasn't doing a whole lot, it was, May and June, then I didn't really have a need for it. So this was that first full week in May. Second full week, I did add some washi tape from Planner Monkey Co. And I have like a to-do list. You see how well I did on that to-do list. Didn't work out. I used, I think that I had my Twisby inks with the Atramentist Alexander Hamilton, which is this really pretty purple color. This was, we were so sick this week. It was the week before I had my surgery, and me and my daughters were so sick. And it was like we just passed. It wasn't COVID. It was just some weird like summer cold. We just kept passing it back and forth. This was the week that I had my surgery. I had my surgery on that Tuesday, the 24th. So not a lot of planning happened, but I did want to note like some things like here. I needed to note that a coworker picked up my work iPad to turn in, just so I had it like in my records because it's kind of out of it. But yeah, obviously I wasn't to-do listing. And then here I was just kind of writing, again, some things like that happened. Or I had like one, I think like my husband had a paid holiday, and then my daughter went to cheer camp. I got my stitches out. Sophie came home because they stayed with my parents for a week. And then I wrote, You know, I went to my daughter's like cheer camp competition, and I overdid it. So I had a rough weekend. And then my really good friend and her son, my nephew, came and visited. And I kind of journaled how I was feeling for a week. And then, you know, things started kind of picking up a little bit. So I had the intention of writing how I was feeling, but I never got around to it. So this is us going into June. But yeah, see, I mean, it's just so basic because it was like, I'm already planning in my personal rings. I'm not going anywhere. So why do I need to keep listing stuff out? And then here I was kind of trying out like highlight of the day. I was coming up with a study plan. Had all these, you know, these plans. I wrote down the wrong date for an anniversary. I did a little bit more that day. I used a sticky note from Ardnas just to write down like some to-dos for the day so I wouldn't forget. And that's pretty much it. And then when we go back to my collections, the highlight was we went to Gulf Shores beach trip. My highlight of the month was Tombow 761 for June. And then for May, it was 673. And I graduated with my MSW in May, and I also had a hysterectomy. You know, what is this? Vision board is still intact. And again, I will say it in every video probably for the rest of the year that in retrospect, next year will print this out on sticker paper because I'm having some lifting and it's stuck together and all of that stuff. I was going through and just kind of checking off my goals. I still haven't felt the need to index anything, so that may just be a spread for next year that I don't utilize. This hasn't changed. Travel, we added in June that we went to Gulf Shores and what we did. I haven't added anything for the girls. Accomplishments, well, take that back because I'm doing a May flip. In May, my daughter went to her first cheer camp, and then my other daughter got 5 awards at her like awards day, and the award that she was most excited about was she was track queen, which meant that she ran the most miles out of all the girls in PE in first grade. So yeah, and then here are my accomplishments. I graduated officially in MSW. That is something that has been a goal of mine since I graduated with my undergrad in 2007. So that's a huge accomplishment for me. And then I also applied to take the licensure exam, and I was approved. I added Lord of the Flies to my books. I finally read that book. I have like a whole smearing ink situation happening here. So let's see. I added several shows because I had a lot of downtime and was watching a lot of TV. So finished all seasons of One Tree Hill, Stranger Things season 4. I watched both Downton Abbey movies. This one, the newest one, I went with my aunt to watch. I watched Obi-Wan season 1. I have my thoughts on that, but I'm not going to get into it if you haven't seen it. I watched The Tinder Swindler. That was crazy. Inventing Anna. And we went to the movies and watched Jurassic World Dominion, I think is what it was called. So that's that. And then I added beauty products I want to try. And then I think I added a few more things. Yeah. So that was a cute little, let's see. Yeah, I was using like the back like to scribble. So like I had like a list of things I needed to get that day and get gas. I always forget to get gas, you guys. It's terrible. And then I kind of mapped out some dinners. It was just brain dumping. I made a grocery list. My daughter was sick. I was monitoring her temperatures. And Sophie drew me that. It says, I love you like so much. Love Sophie. I just thought that was cute. I needed to map out a schedule. I made a packing list, and this was for the girls to stay with my parents while I had surgery. I added like my favorite Starbucks drinks. These are the only 2 I could come up with. I like iced coffee from Starbucks, and I don't go that often typically when I have gift cards, but in the month of July, if anyone's interested, on Tuesdays, you can get like cold drinks half off. So, and then I started a Starbucks orders to try. I have like some stuff screenshotted. I just need to write them in. And then I wanted to add a fountain pen wish list, but I ended up doing that in my personal rings. And then that's it. Those are, and I haven't done my 100 envelope challenge. And then I did start doing this in June where I was writing in what pen I inked what with, because I picked up the Sailor Compass from Goulet Pens, I think in June. So, and I didn't do my 100 envelope challenge, so boom, dilly dilly. And that is my week's flip. And then let's go into my cousin. I was hoping this wouldn't be a long video, but here we are. These are just some stickers that I made in Canva. I printed them out on transparent sticker paper, and I just cut them out like when I use them. So I just keep them tucked in there for the time being. Let me get it in frame, friends. I apologize. Tracker. So May I did no tracking, but June I actually remembered to write stuff down. So I did some stats and all that fun stuff. I typically use my TWSBI in here. I love this pen. Like, for the price you get, I feel like this is a really good and affordable pen. And it writes so good, it's not scratchy. This is the extra fine. I bought it on Goulet Pen. I think I had a unboxing video that I can link if you guys are interested in watching it, but love it. All right, so I don't really use the monthlies in here because the cousin serves, this is my creative outlet. Let me start off by saying that. This is my creative outlet. This is where I do like decorative, like memory planning, and then decorative journaling where I just journal about my day. So I think the only thing I noted on the monthly was I had a hysterectomy, and then my daughter went to cheer camp, and then I noted a couple of things. This ink is so pretty. This is, what is it called? Hold on. I'm not so good with the pronunciations, guys, but it's this ink. The Pilot Eroshi-zuke. Yeah, this one, the Shinkai. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get tongue twisted. But this ink is so pretty. I think I'm going to buy a bottle of it. I love it that much. And then, so I just kind of noted a few things. Like my daughter had her first like cheer competition. We went on a beach trip. It's Father's Day, my 13th wedding anniversary. And that's that. And then we'll go to my weekly spreads. I had more time. I did back plan a lot of these, so I want to point that out. But I did have more time as time progressed to go back and really fill these in and have fun with the spreads. So this was like the first full week in May. It was so much fun to just make this. It's very simple. I use like washi tape from Amazon and Planner Monkey Co. A lot of my box stickers are from the Planner Spot. These little character stickers, it says Emma, is from Via Creations. I have a code. And then this sticker was from Pen, Paper, and Plans. I have a code. It's down in the description. And then this was the next week. This was the week that everyone started to not feel well. But this was kind of like just a simple coffee spread where honestly I just did what was simple, like highlights of the day essentially. So I took a mental health day that day and that was it. Do not disturb. Then I worked. We had an orthodontist appointment. I mean, it was just, this was basic, bare minimum. I cleaned the house. And then this is when I had like a lot more free time, so I was able to go in and really decorate this. I did film a video of like how I do like my more decorative memory spreads, and I'll link that in the cards if you're interested in watching it. But it was so much fun to just make these spreads. Like, I find it so relaxing to just lay around in the bed or sit at my desk and just come up with these memory spreads. They're absolutely beautiful. So I use a lot of these like character stickers. And then this was the week I had surgery. So I just kind of like noted how I was feeling, what I was watching and all of that, because honestly, or like if my parents brought the girls by so I could see them, or like if Jessie had to go do something for the girls, like I just kind of did, just kind of so I could remember, because I remember like the day I had my surgery, I don't remember most of that day. I don't come off anesthesia easy. And then they gave me a pain pump of medication. So every time like I woke up, I pushed the button. It was funny. But there was one time where my blood pressure dropped really low. So I couldn't take any more pain meds. I was doing everything I could to not feel pain, in all honesty. And then my blood pressure dropped sometime. I remember that. And I remember the nurse was like, you got to get up and move around. So I did. And then I had to stay overnight at the hospital, but then I got discharged, that morning, like, cause I didn't eat all day, on the 24th. I just slept and apparently bossed my husband around. And then, my husband brought me Starbucks and my doctor came visited, sent me home. I went home and I just laid in the bed. And then I have an awesome support system and people were bringing us dinner. It was nice. It was so nice. And then this was the next week. So just use, I did not think, like, I guess I'll just go back and say, I did not think I was going to be in as much pain as I was in, but I was in a lot of pain. I was really sore and I was trying to like not take pain pills and just take like Motrin. So I only took the pain pills if it was like unbearable pain, because that's just how I roll. I worked in, a long time ago, I worked in substance use and I get really nervous about how addictive opiate pain medication is. So I was very hesitant to take more than like one pain pill a day. And then this was like going into June, I guess the first full week of June. This was fun. And then I think, was this the one? I can't remember if it was this one. Or I think it may have been this one that I did the video on. I'll link it if you guys are interested in watching it. But it was pretty fun. Or maybe in this week. I think this was the week. But yeah, I just had a good time. Like it was, I think it was this week that I did the plan with me. And I just like highlight the main things that stuck out to me throughout that day. I don't really follow the timeline. I just kind of like stick stuff in there. And it's just so satisfying to see. And then this was the last like part of June. So I'm pretty much caught up in here. I started, I like halfway did this one. So I've got some more plan. I want to go back plan on, because I have the time to do it. I don't always have the time. But this was fun. All right, so then we'll go to my journaling pages. I'll flip through those really quickly unless it's like a notable memory. I don't know if you guys enjoy seeing this much detail. Let me know, please. So May, the first few days of May, not so good. So I didn't even journal. I didn't even fool with it. I journaled here, and then I've been meaning to add some pictures here, which I plan to do. This is my graduation spread. So yeah, this was fun to make. I just printed a bunch of pictures of friends that I kind of hung with and all that stuff. It was a good day. It was a good day to achieve a goal that I waited 15 years to achieve, and then I did not journal on this day, but this was a Mother's Day card my husband gave me. Just more journaling spreads. So I use like a plethora of different like washi stickers, just kind of whatever like that night before I lay down and go to sleep, like whatever I just feel like doing. Sometimes I just want to draw. Sometimes I want to lay down stickers. I try to keep ephemera in here, like if I get happy mail or whatever. I always try to list my gratitude here. I think it was when we were all so freaking sick. And then these were blank days, so I just kind of added some watercolor to it, just for funsies. So I went back and filled this in just so I could have like a memory of this, because I wanted to note that the staff when I had my surgery was so nice, and they took really good care of me. So I ended up going back and journaling about that. This is just some watercolor. I was just playing with different colors and splashing them around. I don't think Hobonichi paper like is the best for watercoloring, but for abstract things like this, because you can see like, but for abstract things like this, it's pretty fun. And then these days were blank because I was in recovery, but I did go in the last day of the month and just kind of write about what was going on. Started the month, I did like a update on how I was feeling, and then I brain dumped all the stuff because I started feeling like I could move around more. This was like about a week after I had surgery. So I started getting more into the decorative aspect of my journaling about my day, laying down different stickers and washi here. That was like my attempt at a peony, and it was so ugly. I don't know what I was drawing or what I was painting, but there you go. I did that like way in advance. My tulips turned out pretty good though. So yeah, I was just having fun. I got like this day, I got like a bunch of happy mail. So I tried to save as much ephemera as I could and just stuck it down here. We went to the movies that day, so I kept that. I did a little bit of like collage style journaling here. Here's some more like watercoloring that I did in here. I did some more collage journaling. A lot of my these collage journaling supplies are from Pen, Paper, and Plans. She sells journaling kits on her shop, or in her shop. And my code is linked below, but I pulled out my kits. And I mean, this was like one kit that I was pulling all this stuff from. It wasn't like I ordered like a bunch of kits. So like all of these were just one kit that I ordered. So, I mean, it goes a long way. And then I meant to write this on the Friday and I didn't. So I just put 17 Friday, LOL, talking about prepping for our trip. And I went in with washi and stickers and felt like doodling. This was the anniversary card from my parents. This was our beach trip. We had so much fun. I enjoyed it. The water was beautiful. It was so sunshiny. And I just kind of like wrote out like just notable places we went and things we did. These were our parking tickets. I wish I had gotten a picture of my husband like pulling the cart with the huge wheels. That would have been hilarious. And then our anniversary, that was when I got my first Ardnas order. Some more collage journaling. Again, majority of these are from Pen, Paper, and Plans. And then I did a coffee theme here. This sticker is from Scripts by LNC. I've been holding on to it and I was like, use it. So I did. That's from Pen, Paper, and Plans. And then these are the stickers that I made in Canva. I was trying to make like my own homemade washi and I made them too big, but it was still fun. So I did that, and then I tipped in this freebie from RLE Plans, because of what happened on the 24th. Ooh, the 24th was, you know, when they reversed Roe v. Wade. So I wanted, to put that in here. You know, my tip-in game is not strong. More stickers I made in Canva. I mean, you can DIY so much stuff, like if you just kind of have the patience. I did not use like a cutter to cut these stickers out. I just like cut them out myself with scissors. And I just buy, I think it's called Online Labels, transparent stickers. You can buy them on Amazon. And I just, you know, do like a letter size, like page in Canva and find stuff I like and print them off. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you can do a lot of DIY. So here's another one of those from Arel, another coffee theme. And then I got these washies from High Paper Clouds. So I wanted to add some samples of those to my spread because I really liked it. And then I was like, going to end June the same way I started, with a pen only spread is what I started writing. And then I tipped in this is a digital from Latua Notes. So that's how I use my cousin and weeks. I mean, it's pretty, you know, again, I do like to be creative. So this gives me an opportunity to have my entire year in one book. As you can see, I'm probably going to have to take this cover off because it's not going to hold much longer. But as you can see, like this thing is stuffed and I'm only like a little over halfway through the year. So it's going to be a really fat book by the end of the year. And I'm good with that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, these are just fun. These are so much fun for me to play in. And that's what I like about it. I like the purposes they serve in my life because they, you know, they meet that creative need that I have in so many ways. But so I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comment those down below. I'm happy to answer them if I'm able to. But if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video, and I hope you have a fabulous day.